The NBA was kind enough to give us 9 games on Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Some of these matchups are not exactly must-see TV, but let's talk about some of the games that are and what we're looking forward to see.
Yeah, I think that when they were putting the schedule together at the top of the season, they said, "Oh, this is going to be a great matchup." But as the season progressed, and as these teams are falling down left and right, and some of them are rising to the occasion, these matchups are a little questionable at this stage of the season. So I'm quite sure the NBA is probably like, "Ooh, if we had to redo it again." But you don't know that when they're planning the schedule, right? You hope that these teams would be really, competitive against one another. But some of them, I'm like, not right now. Maybe if we
Mhm.
do these same matchups later in the season, perhaps, but not right now.
Right, right. So it looks like the Boston Celtics will go into the Charlotte Hornets to try to get a W. What are your thoughts on that game?
Really,
Yeah.
like, let's just be honest. Is this a scrimmage game for Boston? I just
Yeah.
don't know. I mean, Jalen Brown probably will still be out. Like, really, Charlotte? I mean, I guess we can really check and see Lamelo Ball. I mean, perhaps that'd be the highlight, but I don't get it.
Yeah, Jason Tatum is kind of banged up. I believe his hand, his wrist, his thumb,
Yeah.
everything is out of alignment right now. But he said he does not want to sit. So I'm looking to see him on the court. However, the Indiana Pacers go into Pfizer Forum, the Milwaukee Bucks. That might be a good matchup.
Only if Giannis is on the court.
Hmm.
Only if Giannis is on the court. Otherwise, I mean, will Milwaukee get a spanking like they did against the Heat just recently? I just don't. If Giannis is not playing for me, it's not a matchup. Because again, the complete Milwaukee team is with Giannis. He is Milwaukee, right?
Yes.
So I really like to see when. Now I know this is a great opportunity for us to see what the other role players and other stars on the team can do. But again, if Giannis ain't on the court, what are we talking about?
Right, and Chris Middleton hasn't really been in the lineup much, and that's pretty disappointing. However, the next game when the New Orleans Pelicans play the Cleveland Cavaliers, now this is a
And
game
this
that
one
I'm
right here.
looking forward to see.
This
Yes.
one right here is one of the games that I can't wait to see. And it's so funny because although New Orleans may not have Zion, and we know that Brandon Ingram may still be out, that team, even without their star players, is still competitive. Like they
Indeed.
can get a
Yeah.
win easy, especially with CJ McCollum being their leader. And then the Cleveland
Yes.
Cavaliers. I mean, what else can I say about Donovan Mitchell? What else am I say about that? So that is a
Right.
matchup I'm really looking forward to seeing. If Zion returns, that's great. I don't know if he will, but Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland in that backcourt, I always like to watch them. This is the first game of the series for New Orleans Pelicans and the Cleveland Cavaliers. So I like to see what this matchup looks like. It will be an incomplete matchup because, again, we don't have Zion if he doesn't play, and it will not have Brandon Ingram if he doesn't play as well. However, the New Orleans Pelicans can still get it done. So, what are your thoughts
Yes,
on this
I'm
game?
I'm looking forward to see what that Jonas and Jerry Allen matchup looks like.
Jonas
You
and
know,
Jerry.
two big bodies, very physical guys. And then also, who will Jose Alvarado disrupt? Because you know that defense. Jose
Yeah.
Alvarado will get into you. And I just don't know if he's going to be assigned to Donovan Mitchell or Darius Garland. But either way, oh, I cannot wait to see. But you mentioned that this is the first matchup with the Pels and the Cavs. But the Pels have recently lost to two of the Eastern Conference juggernauts, right? They lost to the Boston Celtics and the Brooklyn Nets. So if they can get a win against this team, and I'm considering the Cavs to be
Yes.
top three, top four, top dogs in the Eastern Conference. This will speak volumes for just their depth and what they're able to do under head coach Willie Green with or without Zion Williamson and, of course, Brandon Ingram, who we haven't seen.
Yeah, I think that there is still a measure of undecided for me because this roster for the New Orleans Pelicans is still incomplete. Until Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram both show up on the court consistently, along with CJ McCollum, what we're
Mhm.
looking at is still similar, it's still almost like a shell of the roster. Now, I do agree with you. They did take a L with the Nets and with Boston. But again, what will they look like? Again, it's always what we're hoping they look like when they're all healthy and they're all together, at least semi healthy at this point of the season, right? Can they still play even with the nicks and bruises? And I think that until we can see what that looks like, if this L happens to if the New Orleans Pelicans take an L in this game without the 2 stars that they have on their roster, I'm going to be more so looking forward to their second matchup, because then if Cleveland Cavaliers can be as whole as they are, and then the New Orleans Pelicans can be whole, then for me that would be one of what a complete matchup would look like. So this win for New Orleans Pelicans, considering that they are damaged at this point because of the injuries, would be really huge for their confidence, number one, and for them to prove themselves that they are actually competitive when we're talking about top seeding, playing against top teams. But if they lose, I still feel like they can still compete, because I know that they're missing pieces that are really powerful in their starting lineup. I can't say this Jonas can get it when, he double digits when Zion. Like, if you look at his box score, you're like, oh my gosh. And then if you watch him play, you're saying, oh, he just has his way. He's super comfortable now, like super, right? And I think it has a lot to do with the fact that Willie Green knows how to utilize his players on his roster to help fit in when they're missing some core pieces of their roster. So
yeah, but if they lose, that will be the narrative. Oh, the Pels, they didn't have BI and Zion.
They're
That's
safe.
the narrative. Yeah,
they're safe. Yeah. Yes, and they should ride on that too.
Every other team, the teams do it too.
Yes.
Yeah. Now the Cavs and the Pels split the last 10 games. They're both 5-5, so it should be interesting to see who can progress in the next couple of games. Now the next game against Toronto Raptors, they go into the Garden against the New York Knicks. Toronto has been underachieving this season. The New York Knicks have been a big surprise for me. Are you looking forward to this game?
No.
Okay. Golden State Warriors will go. The Warriors will go into the Washington Wizards. Man, I'm telling you, the NBA did their best with this schedule, but that is not a game that I'm looking forward to see.
The only highlight for me in this game, and that's one of the reasons why I am looking forward to watching it. I want to see how Stephen Curry comes back. Like this, I think this will be his third game since he was out on his injury. Will he be able to bring the Golden State Warriors back up to where they should be in the Western Conference? So this is one of those games, I believe, if Steph Curry is on the court, and I believe he will be. And then with Andrew Wiggins, will he be back to his playoff Andrew Wiggins? Can we see that? Because that's really what fans are looking for when we're talking about the Golden State Warriors. Like, when will they finally turn it on? And I believe that they can actually win against Washington. Actually, I have them winning this matchup because Stephen Curry is back. But it's important for me to know how I feel about Stephen Curry. So that's one of the reasons why I'm watching this game. Can he get back in rhythm? Yeah, this game is more so about Golden State Warriors than it is about the Washington Wizards. As a matter of fact, they could be playing against the Rockets. I can really care less. It's just that what does Stephen Curry look like, and what does the Golden State Warriors look like now that he's back, and can they get back into their projected playoff mode at this time of the season, considering that they didn't really start the season off too well. So that's how I'm looking at this game.
And they are the defending champs.
And then there's that.
I am looking forward to the Miami Heat and the Atlanta Hawks game, primarily because both teams have had to scratch and claw in the Eastern Conference. Now, Miami have won the last 7 of 10 games. The Atlanta Hawks have not been as fortunate. I think they're up 4 of the last 10 games. Both teams, to me, are underachieving in the Eastern Conference. You got Dwayne Dedmon throwing items onto the court, getting suspended. You got Trae Young and Nate McMillan going at it. John Collins is in trade talks. And I just think that Trae Young and the whole roster, I think they look good on paper. And if you look at Trae's box score, you're like, oh, he had a good game. But when you watch the game, the eye test it doesn't match up to what we're seeing in the box score. And I'm really concerned about his body language as well. So there's no way that the Atlanta Hawks will win this game against the Miami Heat.
I'm not looking forward to that game at all. For the very same reasons you mentioned. I just don't see it. Maybe I'll watch this matchup if they do it again later in the season, but not right now.
Okay. All right. So next up are the Utah Jazz and the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Now this one right here, this is my second one. This one right here, actually my third game that I'm really excited about watching. And let me tell you, because the Utah Jazz and the Minnesota Timberwolves, they are fighting for a spot in the top 6. Hovering. Like the the standings are so close between those two teams that any game, win or lose, will move or demote them down a peg. So I think that they both have something to gain with this particular matchup. I do believe that the Utah Jazz, if they continue to lose, even though they have the most improved player on their roster, the next all-star on their roster in Lauri Markkanen, I just think that they need this win. They need this win against the Minnesota Timberwolves, because Minnesota Timberwolves right now, they are suffering from Rudy Gobertism. I mean, like, no, for real. It wasn't what they thought it was going to be. And so they have to really claw, and considering where they are in the standings, they're both fighting. They're both fighting to maintain their spots. So, yeah, that's one of the matches I'm looking forward to.
Okay. I do not have this game on my list, but I am on Lauri watch right along with you. He is such an exciting player. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Now, the next game, the Phoenix Suns and the Memphis Grizzlies, that's my third game that I'm looking forward to. Oh,
Why?
yeah.
Only because of Memphis Grizzlies, because it can't be because of the Phoenix Suns.
Well, the Grizzlies, yeah, they're on a 9-game winning streak.
Yeah, I'm with it.
You know, Ja Morant posterizing folks. Oh, my goodness, here recently. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to this game. I think you're looking at one team on an incredible surge in the Western Conference, might be the number 1 seed by the time you guys watch this video. And then you're looking at another team that's really struggling, hit with a ton of injuries, basically playing with their bench, plus Mikal Bridges, the Iron Man. Like, he doesn't miss any games.
Yeah.
We're looking at a team who has not had Jay Crowder. Jay Crowder's in the media, you know, talking about the coaching staff. So, you know, the Phoenix Suns have a lot of issues right now. Chris Paul isn't healthy. Devin Booker, when are we going to see him? So, but this is a game that I'm looking forward to see if the Memphis Grizzlies can still, considering their opponent, can still come in and get that 10th straight win. Because it's kind of a letdown when you know, like, oh, we're going in and play the Suns and this person isn't playing, you know, you got everybody out. Can the Grizz as a young team remain disciplined and get the W as they should at home?
I think so. That's why I'm not looking forward to this game. For me, I'm like, oh, Memphis got it. Now, again, I will watch. When I say I'm not looking forward to the game, doesn't mean I'm not going to watch it. Let's just be honest about that, right? So this is the only game on at this time slot. I don't see why it wouldn't be on in my home. So, you know, if I'm have to choose, I don't have to choose between this game and another game. So it is on. It will be available for me to watch. And I just think that I just wasn't really interested in the game, only because the Phoenix Suns, I don't know if they can give me anything. Now, what I would hope is that the Phoenix Suns will make it competitive for the Memphis Grizzlies, and the Memphis Grizzlies don't go in there and just sweep them up. You know, because in that, I don't like games where they're not tooth and nail. I want it to be nail biting. Regardless, I just need competitive games. The Memphis Grizzlies, because they know that the Phoenix Suns are damaged right now, I just hope that they do go in there with the same aggression that they have in previous games. But yeah, you know, it'll be on, and hopefully it'll be competitive enough so I can get into it. But I wasn't looking forward to this game at all.
Yeah. Okay. So the last game of the night, the Houston Rockets in Los Angeles. Like, I don't know, they made it the nightcap as if this is the main event. It's not the main event.
No, and when I'm saying, can they readjust the schedule, this would have been one of the games to readjust. Like, you couldn't do, like, at this point, they should have been, the front office, I mean, the NBA front office should be calling these teams saying, okay, you know what? I know what we thought at the beginning of the season, but that ain't what we see. We're going to put the Kings on. Because, see, I need the NBA to be a little bit more flexible when we're talking about key matchups on key days. And in this case, the Rockets, so you mean to tell me the NBA went into this season saying the Rockets are going to be a great game to watch on, you know, MLK Day, because, you know, most people are off on that day. They'll be able to watch. Maybe not, because the NFL, we're talking about playoff NFL at this point. So perhaps it was like, you know, just put this game on because ain't nobody going to watch it anyway. I don't know. But the Houston and Lakers, the only reason why this game will be on for me is because I'm trying to see how many points will LeBron get, because we're both chasing Kareem. So
yes, that's it. You know,